I sent the link to the server earlier.
We got somebody giving us an update. If you don't want your microphone on, make sure that it's turned off. I'm not. All right. Oh, or were you trying to update us? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, okay. Sorry. Yes. I was like, Discord, what's Discord? I already forgot. All right. Could someone tell me how your weekend was in chat? How was your weekend? Good. Thursday, I started with a sore throat, and I have been very sick all weekend. In fact, today is the first day I can actually kind of talk. Birthdays, same people, tired and sore. Tommy, were you playing a sport? I watched the Browns game too. I might be a Bengals fan though. I didn't say that out loud. Thank you. I know I wasn't quite. I have a, put my camera on for a minute. But it's been a rough weekend. I went to the urgent care on Saturday. I thought I might have strep, but it is not strep throat. Not sure what it is, but some yucky virus. Awesome. So I hope I feel better too. It's no fun. I missed Milo's soccer game on Saturday. It was no fun. But it sounds like you all had a much better weekend than I did. All right. So I did get a clarification on social media. We are not supposed to use it as a platform in our classrooms or promote it. That being said, you all have social media, and if you want to connect on another platform, that's something you can do. I just cannot promote it in the classroom, just because we don't know enough behind all social media platforms, and we can't advise those. I'm not saying it's bad. I will try to work on something for in the classroom so that you guys can have a place for social interaction. Okay. So I understand the need for that. Awesome. So let's look at today's objectives. Well, I need being loosely the desire to have social media and connect with your classmates outside of class, whether that be in person or on social media platforms. So use your best discrepancy and your parents, permissions to do that. All right. So today we are going to our class connect sessions. We're going to do instructional time together where we're going to learn our content Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 8:30 to 9:10. Then on Thursday and Friday, we'll use those as help session times. Note the time change on Friday. Okay. So we will use those help session times to catch up if you need one-on-one help. This is the kind of the outlook for the day. You'll see this calendar if you go to your classroom in the announcements. Okay. This is going to show you what unit we're on. So this is kind of going to give you a rundown of what we're doing this day if you're following along in the textbook. Are there two different ones? There should have been one for last week and then one for this week. Okay. So that should be each week I'll post a new one with the updated schedule. And this is again, the content, what we're doing. And down here in red are anything that you need to do as an assignment. Okay. No, you're totally fine. I just like to have an idea of what's coming at me for the week. So hopefully that will be helpful. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over the scientific method today. Let's do a quick poll. Green check, red X. If you have a rough idea of what the scientific method is. For general, it looks like we have a lot of people semi-familiar with it. Oh, hold on one second. I'm going to grab my charger. You need that. All right, so because my voice is barely here, what we're going to do today is we're going to try out one of those Nearpods that we talked about, okay? Now, these Nearpods, we're going to use next week when I'm out of town, maybe, if I feel better. But what I would like you to do is let's try to get logged in. So today we're going to go over what the scientific method is, hypothesis. We should be able to identify in an experiment what the control group is, and then we're going to look at the variables, the independent and dependent variable. This looks like a lot, but I promise you it won't. Okay, yes, I got that note. Let's try this again today in class. So, let me see here. I'm going to try to share my computer. All right, so go to your Nearpod site. And let me see, join.nearpod.com. So everybody go there first. You're about to learn what Nearpod is. It is a way that we can learn together and on our own. Everybody put that into your browser, join.nearpod. Yep. See if that works for you, Kaden. MPFUTE. The class code is MPFUT. I can put that on the board too. MPFUT is our class code. You can do it on your computer or your phone. It's up to you. I'm also going to try to share my screen. All right, it looks like I've got Alex, Brianna, Elijah, Francisco, Isabella, Kyle, Lyric, Kenzie, Madison, Marissa is in, Milton, Peyton, Riley, Shayla, Keep on coming. Yes, this is our classroom code. I put it on the board for you. Apparently it doesn't want to get bigger. MPFUT. I don't know if I saved it. All right, I am back. All right, let's see. I am so sorry. All right, let me pull. Is everyone in Nearpod? All right, let me get. It says wait for me. All right. This is so cool. I'm pumped. Why isn't it letting me in now? All right, I am coming, I promise. All right, I'm coming. That's making me log in again. Too many students. Okay. Well, I'm going to screen share and then we'll make sure this problem gets fixed for the next time. Okay. Let me screen share this so that everyone can be in. All right. It's just going to take us a minute. It's okay. Just sit tight. It's not working. It is working. It's working for some people. It's not working for other people. Okay. All right. Let's just go on in this lesson. I don't want everyone having problems. We'll do this Nearpod tomorrow and I'll see why everyone can't get logged in. In chat, tell me one thing you know about the scientific method. One thing you know. I'm going to keep working on Nearpod on the side, but tell me right in chat, one observation, hypothesis, good, ask a question. What's going to happen? If then statement, you guys are like rock stars at this. And some of you said you didn't know. You are doing great. All right, now give me a smiley face response. How many of you in your life have ever had a problem? Who's ever had a problem? Right? In general, yeah. Yes. Yes, we've all had problems, right? So what I love about the scientific method is that we've all had problems, all right? If you didn't, you've never had a problem until this point in your life. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but one is coming. All right? This world is full of problems, big, little, and different, but we are going to, the way we go about solving them is methodical. And even if you think you've never used the scientific method before, I'm telling you, you have. So someone give me an example of a problem that you have had in the last week that's semi-appropriate. It does not need to be complicated. It could be like, I lost my coffee. Where did it go? Spilling a cup of water, COVID, lost your coffee. Somebody stopped talking to you. All right, so let's use the my crush stopped talking to me, okay? We don't know why. That a lot of things, there are times that go on in our life and we don't know why. What is the first thing you do when you're like, why did that happen? What do you immediately try to start doing? Figure it out. You're guessing why, right? A lot of time that makes us feel like very insecure. Who likes not knowing why something happened? I think if you're like me, I absolutely hate not understanding why something happened. Drives me crazy. Why did this happen? Right? So you're like, okay, was it something I said? Was it something I said? You're like, is it something I did? So you start going back and thinking of all those things, right? Like maybe I chewed with my mouth open. Yeah, maybe I'm not good enough. Was that last outfit I wore like super janky, or like was it not flattering? What did I say? Yeah. Feel free to jump on your mics too. Right. So we start trying to like get like we make a hypothesis in our mind. We legitly, even though we don't call it a hypothesis, we legitly start wondering why. And we start guessing, right? And you don't have to jump on your microphone. All right, but then what happened? So maybe you were like, oh, maybe it was this. Then what do you try to do? You try to go back in your mind. Maybe if that's like, you're like, oh, I think I said that, and I think that might have offended him. All right. So your crush stops talking to you. That's a problem. Then you go back and you're like, I'm trying to figure out why. And you go through all these reasons and you're like, I bet it's when I said this, right? So then what would you do to go figure out why, like if that thing you said was what bothered him or her? What would you do? Would you just ask them?
You can ask them and go to the source.
You could go to the source. That is very honorable. I don't know that I'm always brave enough to do that. That is the best choice. Would you maybe go to some of their friends? If you were friends with some of their friends, and you're like, do you think that would bother them?
So I kind of figured out that, well, so my mom always makes this point of like, you know, if you look crazy and you act crazy, people are gonna look at you all strange. But if you look cute and you act crazy, then people might give it a pass. I started testing out for the past 2 weeks. So people treat me nicer when I have a face of makeup on, but when I don't, they treat me a little weird.
Oh, I don't believe that, but there might be something to it. I think that might tell you the quality of your friendships, right? Or relationships.
Yeah.
Nobody wants somebody that just wants them when they look good. I can attest to that. You need somebody that's going to be around for you when you're sick and you're worst.
It's sort of societal values things. Since people were taught to like pretty people.
Oh. Well, I think you're all beautiful, and I think that we want to find people, and but see, this is good. This is good. We're solving a problem, right? Because so even if you do that, you've done this kind of research, then you can start identifying those people in your life, right? Do I want people in my life, all right, that only want me when I'm at my best, right? And my best being maybe not all of who I am. So because of that, then we can get we've done this. We've done this whole process. We've had a problem. We were guessing, like, what was it that threw them off my case? All right. Then maybe we asked around and we got some information back about, oh, well, you know, when I'm at my best, when I look good and I'm on point with, you know, having a good day, maybe I'm not worried or anxious or emotional or any of those things, or mad or distant because I'm dealing with something on the inside. They like me when I'm at my best, but they don't like me when I'm at my worst. You know, then we've made a conclusion, right? That they like me when I'm at one person and not as another. And then we can make some decisions about those relationships. Yes, I love how positive our class is. I feel like everyone is super defensive of each other, and I like that. Because in this world of, yep, there's too much bad in this world that we all have to deal with than to take each other down. No, why are we talking about this, JB? Because all of us deal with problems in our lives, and believe it or not, you might not think that you know the scientific method and that you might have to learn it today in class, but really secretly you do it every single day in your life. You guys use this all the time. This, like when I lose my coffee, I think, what could happen? Did my daughter take it? Did I leave it somewhere? Did I never make it? Okay, we go through this at some extent all the time. So yeah, so we work with it with people, we work with it computers. We use the scientific method every single day. All right. This is just kind of a flow chart. All right. What do you guys think is the hardest part for you of the scientific method? Can you use your board tools? You have tools. Make sure I give you those. Can you point on the board to where? No tools. Let me get you tools. Here we go. Do you have tools now? Point to where you're at on the board. Is the hardest part finding the experiment, guessing what's wrong? Is the hardest, like a lot of us are centered, I feel like, in the center part, right? Identifying the variables. I love that there's so many winners. There's so many of you, and I love that we all are participating.
I think it's personally, it's not really the method. It's more like of what question you're asking.
Sure, because sometimes that is hard to identify in itself to actually get back to the root of what the real problem really is. Who's on mic? I'm trying to scroll through. Whose beautiful voice are we hearing? Jaina. Everybody say happy birthday to Jaina. Her birthday was on the 28th. There she is. Now I see you on my screen. Awesome. So we all use the scientific method every day. A lot of people, do you guys like feel like when I say scientific method, like you all start thinking of these typical plants? It's like, oh yeah, science. You don't think, oh yeah, my real everyday life problems, right? I think when we start relating science to the things we know, we do, and we process every day, these things are going to make a lot more sense to us. Okay. So we're going to take what we know, an observation. So our observation in our dating situation is the person that I was talking to seems to be withdrawing. Okay. Or not responding to me. And then you make a prediction or an inference, which is why. Maybe that conversation we had on Friday just got too weird. Or maybe I didn't have my makeup on Friday, and now all of a sudden that's why. Okay? Same thing in science. A lot of times in science, we're looking at things that are particularly more measurable, just like this plant. All right, we've got a dying plant. You see that it's, well, can't really see it. But let's keep the doodles not on. There we go. All right, so you see this plant that's dying. We're like, why? Like, why is it dying? Okay. Why is this other plant thriving? Right, maybe we would say no food. What else could be a problem with it? water. Maybe it doesn't have water. So I hung a plant like from my ceiling in my bathroom. Yeah. It's dying. I'm pretty sure it's because there is no sunlight. I don't have a window in my bathroom. So I have to keep bringing it out, letting it get some sunlight. Anybody else have house plants? I'm really trying. I'll have to show you my house, like little tree thing. It's totally dying. I'm not doing well with my house plants. Good. So we have a plant. It's dying. We don't know why. We make an inference. It's an educated guess. It's not like, ooh, maybe the magical rainbow powers. Like we don't pull something crazy, right? Out of thin air based on things that we know that plants need, which is all of the things that you said, right? We know a plant needs water. We know a plant needs food and sunlight. Right? We based it on things that we know are facts about that. And so then we go to identify variables. All right. This is the most, I feel like, over processed information, but we do need to be able to do it. Just don't overthink it. Okay. The independent variable is the variable that is being carefully manipulated by the researcher. All right. It's going to be the thing that is being changed. So if you're going to see if adding Lucky Charm marshmallows to your plant makes it grow faster, okay, then the Lucky Charms would be the independent variable. Oh, everyone be sweet in the chat. I'm going to use my mom voice. Let's all be sweet. All right. The dependent variable is going to be like your control, what we already know. The dependent variable is the variable that is measured. This is what we're recording. Okay. What is being measured or recorded in the experiment? So how are you going to measure growth? What would you measure growth with? Your eyes? Good. Inches, a ruler. Good. Inches and ruler over time. I like it. So like day 1, day 2, and measuring how tall it's growing. Good. So our independent variable is what's changing. All right. Our dependent variable is what is measured in the experiment. If you're like me, you'll overthink that. Just don't. Let's keep it simple. All right. So which variable is the variable being measured? This is a Blackboard tool we don't have anymore. I'll pull the polling mechanism out. What is the one that we measure? Yes. Yep. The dependent variable. Perfect. I'm so bummed our new pod didn't work. I'm going to get that working for tomorrow. All right. So our hypothesis or our inference is an educated guess. I'm going to move on from this. Somebody mentioned this if-then statement earlier. That's perfect. If I add more Lucky Charms to a plant, then it will grow, inches greater than the plant without Lucky Charms. All right. It's our guess about what's going to happen based on what's already in our heads. All right. We're all intelligent people, so we got to base on what we already know. So is a hypothesis a lucky guess? True or false? False. All right. It's a thought out. It's a thought out inference, right? It's an educated guess. It's not the, oh, I think it's rainbows, a magical power rainbow. Although that took a lot of thought. A second question. Most scientists come up with questions out of the blue. No, right? They have a problem. And that's what arises the question. Right? There's something that happens and they're like, why? Just like our everyday problems. All right? Scientists are you and me. We're both scientists. Believe it or not. All right. So there are two types of data we can gather. We talked about our date, like our crush not talking to us as an example. All right. We talked about the makeup situation being a potential variable. Would that be quantitative data or qualitative data? Based on what you see on the board. What do you think? Qualitative. Good. Qualitative data is anything you can see. All right? Anything you can hear or taste or touch. So if you were even doing a plant experiment and maybe a plant looked dead, it would look dead by like a yellow leaf or a crunchy leaf that we could touch. Okay. Qualitative data are things that you see with your senses. Now, some of you talked about, oh, we could see growth by measuring in inches or centimeters. You could weigh it. This is all quantitative. I'm going to teach you some things in science that are really unconventional. What do you think of when you think of quant or hear of? Quant or quantity. Quantity? Has anybody heard of quantity? Yes. Okay, we're on the same thing. Yes, you think of a number, you think of an amount. That's what helps me remember the difference between quantitative and qualitative data. When I hear the word quantitative, I think of quantity. It's a number. It's a numerical value. Okay. Quantitative data is numerical. Qualitative data is something you're going to hear, see, touch. Good. So, when you do an experiment in science, you need a control group and an experimental group. Basically, you need something that's normal. You can't compare something to nothing. So when you go to experiment with a factor, if I'm going to give a plant Lucky Charms to see how that affects the growth of it, I need to first have a plant that I just water and give all the typical things so they know what is normal. Is that a microwave? I don't know if that's a microwave. Could be. Yes. Somebody needs to go back. All right. So when we have our experiments, we're going to have our dependent and independent variable. What we're going to measure. We're going to measure it in qualitative and quantitative data. And we're going to have not just a experimental group, but we're going to have a control that we try to keep everything as normal as possible in that one group. All right. Am I okay to move on? Okay. So, do you feel like you know the steps of the method? The scientific method? Let's do. Oops, wrong. That's not the chat. Or hold on, that's not it. Green check, red X. I know I'm wrapping up. I'm sorry. Good. Most of us do. How do we feel about, do you know what a hypothesis inference is? Awesome. You guys are rock stars. How do we feel about independent dependent variable? Okay, about 50. I know it did go by fast. How about qualitative, quantitative? How do we feel? Ooh, that one's pretty strong for the most part. This is going to help me for tomorrow. And an observation versus an inference. We didn't hit that super hard, but an observation is something we see. An inference is something we what? Make. We make an inference based on our observation. All right, I'm going to work on that Nearpod for tomorrow. You guys are awesome. If you want to save these notes, I'll put them in the classroom under recordings and class notes. Please complete this quiz today. I will make sure that they are visible in the classroom. They might still be hidden. Okay? I'll make sure that they aren't. Alrighty. First step in the scientific method, leave it in chat as you leave. Nearpod fun tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for hanging with me and dealing with some of the tech. See ya.